Hello and a big warm welcome to this presentation from the Urban Penguin. My name is Andrew Mallett and yes, I am actually the Urban Penguin. What are we going to look at today? Well, we're going to start a series looking at the command line utility in Linux, grep. Now, I've already done a 1-hour presentation on this, but maybe breaking it into smaller elements so you can pick it up and take your time in bite-sized elements, you can start to learn grep and use its full benefits. We're going to begin by getting an understanding of what grep can do for us. Now, the first thing to understand is, what does grep do? Well, grep is a command line utility in Linux or other Unix-like operating systems, and it's used for searching and filtering text based on patterns. The name grep itself stands for Global Regular Expression and Print. The primary purpose of grep is to search for lines in one or more files that match a specified pattern or regular expression. It reads input either from files or from standard input and outputs, the matching lines to the standard output of your console. Some key features of grep include pattern matching, file searching, filtering, output customization so we can see exactly what we need to see. We've got case sensitivity. By default, it will search for patterns based on case sensitivity, but we can also turn on case insensitive search. As well as this, we can also invert our search. So rather than saying what we want, we can specify don't show me. And of course, we can use regular expressions and become familiar with those. But as always, the best way to become familiar with grep is to start using it. And we can begin with a simple search on something we should all have, our etc host file. So we use the command grep, and let's just look for IP6 from the file /etc/hosts. And we can see then that we've got 3 lines with IP6 mentioned. Now here I'm looking just for the text string IP6, but as always at the command line, if we want to, we can quote our text searches. So if we've got special characters, they won't be expanded by the shell. So we can use either double quotes or single quotes. Remember, a double quotes will still allow variables to be expanded, whereas a single quote string will not allow any special characters to be expanded by the shell. If we all work with exactly the same file, with exactly the same content, then obviously we're going to get the same result coming back. We can create a file with cat, and if we use 3 less than symbols, we can read in our input. I'm then using double quotes and hello, and we can have our normal hello world if we like. And we can follow this with an exclamation mark if we must, but I can now enter a new line and I can write a new line of text. This is an example. As we continue, I can put a full stop and write another line, and we've got them welcome to the world of Linux, or whatever we want. But if we try and get exactly the same text, then we know we're going to get exactly the same results coming back. And once I've got then my text ready, I can redirect it. Control and L just moves me to the top of the screen, but I can then use the single redirection through to my home directory tilde and /example.txt. If I then look at cat and the file name, escape and dot just brings up that path again. We can see the content. Now, of course, I can just edit the file with nano or vim, whatever you prefer, but using the command line like this, we can easily create it, and you can copy the code from the URL included. But if we now go through and search our file, so using grep, our global regular expression and print, we can look for the word world, and we can see that by default, the global action is showing here. We don't stop on the first match. If we wanted to stop on a specified match, we can use -m. If we want to stop on our first match, we can just use number 1. This way, as soon as we hit a match, we don't have to worry about searching the rest of the file. We'll say, yes, this has the information that we want, and it saves a little bit of processing time if we stop at that first match. So once we've got that done, we can look at other things that we can search for. And we were talking about case insensitivity. If I look for uppercase example with an uppercase E, we don't need the max count anymore. We can see that we're not getting any results coming back. Now, we know the word example is in the file, but it's not in uppercase. So if I use -I with the in case sensitive search, we can see now that I'm getting my line coming back, even though it's the lowercase e example, not the uppercase. And this can be really useful if we're not quite certain the way an option is set in a file. But this gets you up and running with the very basics of grep. And we're going to be building a series where you can see different usages and start building up your skills.
All that is left to say is thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this, then you are probably sadder than I first thought. For more of this drivel, please subscribe, like and comment to @TheUrbanPenguin.